Buenas, mi gente. Que lo que es your girl Jay with your new moon collective reading. We have a new moon in Taurus, April 30th. And before I get into the reading, we're going to talk a little bit about the astrology of it all, right? So we've got, we just had a full moon in Libra, right? And both Taurus and Libra are ruled by Venus, but it's a different vibe, right? Libra is more about like balance and fairness and relationships, right? Where beauty, where Taurus is more like luxury, abundance. The beauty goes into that luxury piece of it, right? So, you know, I think of luxury, I think of like chocolate covered pretzels or chocolate covered strawberries. I like the pretzels too. You know, that kind of like lush, luxurious vibe. And so, for those of us actually born between, I think it's 1976 and 1984, we have our Chiron in Taurus. So with this being Taurus season, it might be highlighting that Chiron, which is like the wounded healer, the piece of us that needs some healing. In Taurus, it may mean like we had some childhood neglect, right? Like some mother wounds that might get stirred up during this time. And I want to mention that because this new moon is also an eclipse and it's the launch of eclipse season. And I picture it as like a broom, like just sweeping away old things, transformation, change, right? But sometimes when we're cleaning and when we're sweeping things, shit comes up to the surface, okay? Like the dust, right? If you're dusting, some of the dust like tends to come up to the surface and triggers, okay? So we have that potentially happening. Also, we're currently in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde. Mercury is going to go retrograde in Gemini. And I always say that when Mercury is in a planet that it naturally rules, like Gemini or Virgo, it's like extra Mercury. It's like Mercury times 10. So there's going to be some miscommunication, like confusion, where you're going to feel like, are those fighting words or nah? Like taking a step back to say, was I misunderstood? Or are you, you know, or did you really mean what you said? Or did you say it in the way that I heard it? Kind of thing. Add to that, Venus is in Pisces right now. Venus is a ruler of Taurus. And that transit tends to want to overspend on like bullshit. Like kind of like shopping therapy, okay? And if you have Taurus, Chiron in Taurus, and I would say like your fifth house or your Venus in your fifth house, that's very inner child situation where you want to just buy all the things like a kid in a candy store. So be careful with your spending. Be careful with those triggers. Be careful of those mother wounds, okay? And how they might show up because Taurus or Chiron in Taurus tends to want to feel secure. Okay, they want to feel secure, and that could be a very materialistic way of feeling secure. Let me look at my notes, see if I forgot something. I think that's what we got as far as, you know, we covered it all. We covered the Sun in Taurus, the Chiron in Taurus people, right? Venus in Pisces, and the Mercury retrograde. There's like a lot going on. And then there's a lot of Pisces transits. You know, Pisces usually or originally rules the 12th house collectively. And so also checking out to see where Pisces, what house Pisces is ruling in your chart, what house is Taurus ruling in your chart, just because, you know, we all, because I was born in that Kairos and Taurus like generation, just because we all have that doesn't mean it shows up in the same way, because it's in like Taurus can rule a different house for each of us. Okay, so let's see what is going to come up as far as our collective reading. I already got the High Priestess coming up as I was shuffling. Nope. Strength in reverse. Those are like, yeah, two major arcanas already. Temperance in reverse. Dang. Kind of what I was already saying. The last card that came up that really put that in play for me is a Six of Cups in reverse, okay? Right? No, this is the Four of Cups. Don't mind me. The Four of Cups in reverse, like missed opportunities. I'm still thinking about like childhood and stuff like that. So we've got the High Priestess, the Strength card in reverse, okay, Temperance in reverse, Six of Swords, and then that Four of Cups in reverse. And so here it talks about like using, the High Priestess is my favorite because the High Priestess talks about using both logic and intuition, right? Using your intuition. I always make the example of the arrow, right? When you put a bow and arrow together, logic is going to tell you the arrow is going to fly from the bow, right? Intuition is going to tell you where it's going to land, okay? And how you want it to land. And so that's the way, you know, planning and also having faith that your plans are going to be what you'd want them to be. And that's why I like to use astrology as part of my personal practice, because it's almost like a blueprint where, okay, what are the vibes? What's the feeling? So that I can adjust accordingly for my highest good. And that's kind of like the High Priestess energy, right? Because some of us are lacking the strength and courage that we need to make some changes. Again, new moon, eclipse is a transformation. It's a time for change. This also calls to me a time for change, a change of mindset, right? A change of perspective, or even like a physical change of like moving from one place to another. And then we're unbalanced. You know, we were just talking about that full moon in Libra. Maybe there's some leftovers they're releasing. And I know new moons are for manifesting, but sometimes with the eclipse too, it does feel like a cut and release. And there's still some cut and release that we have to do in order to get that balance back. And we have to have the courage to see it, to know, okay, this doesn't serve me. The courage to let it go, right? So that I can get back into balance, so that my mindset can change, okay? So that I don't miss the opportunities that are in front of me, because you can't, if you're carrying all this old shit, there's just no way for you to be able to pick up new shit because your hands are full with the old shit, okay? Let's get into the Caribe Oracle. Thank you so much for those that have purchased this deck. I do still have some for sale in the website. I have a couple that are ready to go, so it's not pre-order. Let's see. And I don't think I'm going to do another pre-order until maybe August. I'm not sure just yet, but of course, I'll let you guys know. All right. Yes. Okay. So, first, I love this one. Yo sé que Dios me tiene a mí lo mío, right? Trusting that I know that what's for me is for me. What God has for me is for me. But you have to let shit go in order for you to pick up that new stuff that God has for you during this new moon, during this eclipse season, right? Te voy a recordar que yo soy la reina, self-love. So it's about loving yourself enough to know this shit's not working. It's time to let it go. I am trusting in spirit that even though I don't see the whole picture, that there's something there for me, that I'm not going to miss this opportunity, okay? That there's great opportunities being given to me, and I just need to do the whole, you know, logic, right? Logic and spirit, and hold on, have the courage, find that courage to be able to get back into balance with the universe, so that I can get what's for me, so that I can, you know, give myself the love, so that the universe sees that I am love and can also, you know, compound that for me, right? With more love, with more high vibrations. All right. I know you guys been liking the charms. So let's see what comes up. I'm trying to... What comes up? All right. The little foot. Wow. And it said it twice. It's a little paw. Okay. And a cactus. I feel like the cactus looks like it has little hearts in bloom. So the cactus is in bloom. And really it talks about taking the step, not being afraid to take the step, you know, to have I don't know, it feels like very companion, very like loyal because of the paw. But I also feel like it's just a double message of taking that step, not being afraid to be intuitive, to hold on to your intuition, to walk in your path without seeing the big picture ahead. And then with the cactus, it's also like about boundaries, right? Cactus have thorns. They survive in the desert, right? And thinking about how maybe not everybody deserves to take this path with you, right? The desert's like a lonely place. And maybe this could be a lonely time of transformation and transition. Holding on to know that your community will be there. You're not the only cactus, right? But not, you know, using those thorns correctly so that not that, I can't even get it out. So that not just anybody, right, is in your path when you're walking it, so that people oh, I got a cherry, ay coño, and then a moon, like a crescent, right? Crescent moon. And so every phase, I feel like sorry, this cold still has me in a chokehold. Pars. So don't mind my sniffling, but like a crescent moon is a phase of the moon. It's a beautiful phase of the moon, but it basically says we're going through phases, right? And even like that's what I'm wearing, these earrings from Nipaki, right, are like crescent moons. We all go through phases, but we're still whole in each phase, right? Like the moon is whole in each phase. We just see the moon the way it wants us to see it, right? And so I feel like that goes with the whole boundaries thing. You don't showing people only what you want them to see. And even with the cherry, like I'm looking at, it's like cherry picking, right? Picking what you want people to see, what you don't. Not everything is for everyone to see. Not everything is for everyone to walk with you, right? There are some things that you would have to do on your own. And I feel like this comes back to this card too, right? Like if you're there's past, there's travels, there's mindset shifts that you have to do on your own. Trusting what spirit has for you around the corner, because I feel like it's around the corner. So it's like you can't see it, but eventually you're going to reach that corner. You're going to be like, damn, there it is, right? And then having that trust in yourself and that self-love to be able to work that path in the way that you need to work it, getting rid of those, even like saying getting rid of those thorns, right, with the cactus. Working through those thorns, working through those moments of whether it's insecurity or the mother wound situation that we were talking about with the Taurus, Chiron and Taurus, or whether it's just security and feeling like lack of security because of that Taurus sun and moon, and how you can give yourself security that maybe you felt like growing up you didn't receive. And Spirit's like, yep, that's it. So that's what I got for y'all today. As always, it has been a pleasure. Happy new moon. And to book a session with me, hit the link in bio. And I will see you for the next moon reading. Talk to you soon. Bye.